So let's start to build our login page. And to do that, we want to create an entirely new scene. And that we do inside of our project and asset panel here. We right click down here and we go to create. And then we want to create a scene. And the scene, we can name it login scene. We're going to do that. And then if we double click on our login scene, we'll be brought to this empty login scene right here. And we can also get rid of this tile palette if we want. So let's close that tab so that we can focus on our actual login scene. And then in our login scene hierarchy here to the left, we want to right click, click on UI, and then add an input field. And then you can click on your object here and then F, and that will bring it into your view. So if you click on your object and then into the scene here and click F, the button F, it will be centered on your screen. So there we can enter our text. So now we have that selected. On the right then in the inspector, you will see a bunch of data here. First of all, we can rename this to email, and let's press enter. So that will rename this input field to email, because that will be an input field for your engine email address. And then we can set the placeholder text. So the placeholder text, let's see, where is it? Is here. We could put email as the placeholder text. That will create another game item for us up here if we want to have a placeholder text. So that will be inside of the email object. And you create that by just double clicking on the placeholder text right here. Then you will be brought to the placeholder object where you can fill in the text right here. When we have that, we want to duplicate this. Sorry, one more thing we can do with the email before we duplicate. Let's wait with that. We could go in and we could set the content. So content type can be email address. And in that way, Unity will recognize that we do input email addresses into this field. That's more important when we do our next one, actually, when we're going to input our password. So let's duplicate the email field. That will create another input field, which we can adjust the position of either by selecting the move tool. We can move it up and down. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. We can move it down a bit, and then we can name this password. And we can also change the type so that the type, content type, is password. That means that it will actually blur out the characters. Then the placeholder, that will be password. So that's just the text that, you know, is when we haven't filled in anything, the placeholder will show. So we'll say email and password. Then what we need is a button, right? So we're gonna let's see, right click on canvas, hit on UI, and then button. We'll create a button. And then we have a button, and if we want to move to that, we can see that it got created up here. We can move that. Let's see, let's focus on the canvas, and let's move this button down. Come on. No, we need to select the button, sorry. We can, come on, there we go. Let's move that down, and then we can make small adjustments later on. So let's refocus on that. Let's see here. But that looks almost good. We could adjust the position so that the position is in X and Y axis is exactly the same as password. So it needs to be, let's say it's gonna be, let's just make all of these. I mean, we could put all of these to 0. That would make it easier. Why didn't I make that from the beginning? So everyone would have X position 0, but then also 0. And then the height we can sort of determine ourselves, I think. We don't need that exact distance in between them. That will create our login screen. We can also add a text if we want to add a text. So we can create UI, text, and that text. Oh, sorry, we can create it inside of the canvas as well. So let's right click on that. UI, text. Maybe it was. Let's see. This is also supposed to be position 0, yes. But where is it? There it is. So we need to move that down a bit. There we go. All right, and then we can edit the text so that the text, this is supposed to be just, the name can be login text, but the text should be login to the blob game. we could put login with your, let's just put login with your engine account instead. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Now let's see how this looks. We can either check here in the game preview right here, or we could launch the game by pressing play. That should launch our actual login screen. Oh yeah, as you can see, we need to move up our elements. They're out of the picture. So let's just let's move all of these up so that, let's put the text at 100. Let's put our email at, I don't know, 80. Let's put the password 60 and the button at 40. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that is way too tight. Let's see here. Let's just do it. Let's just do it by hand instead. I'm tired of typing in numbers that doesn't work. Let's move down the button. We could use the, you know, you can use the move tool up here to move everything around. Let's check this out. That looks more like it. There we go. Or we could just check here. Yeah, there we have it. And maybe we're gonna make the color of this into white. That would make for a better look. There we go. Maybe we can make it bigger, but that doesn't really matter. This is not for looks, okay? This is just for functionality. So now that we have the actual UI here, this is, oh, I see. The text is not showing fully. We need to change the width of this thing. There we go. So it needs to be wider. But now we have the UI done for our actual app. In the next video, we're going to do the functionality for the login screen. We'll see how long time it takes. Maybe we need multiple videos for that. But now we have the UI, the elements. Now we're going to work on the functionality that connects this to the engine trusted cloud.